Hello and welcome to another edition of Elektor Engineering Insights. I'm Brian Tristam Williams, and today we have an exciting session lined up for you. If you're into PCB design, open source hardware, or just love tinkering with electronics, you're in the right place. Today we'll be having a look at the newly released KiCad 9, the premier free-to-use PCB design tool, and who better to guide us through its latest features than our special guest, a true KiCad master, Petr Dvořák. Peter, how are you?
Hello, Brian. Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. For those of you who don't know, Peter is a seasoned electronics engineer with a deep passion for open source hardware. He specializes in hardware design, prototyping, and production, with KiCad as his go-to tool for creating professional PCBs. He's also an active contributor to the electronics community, sharing insights and tutorials online. So you may know him as hashtag that KiCad guy. Peter, welcome to the show, and great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Before
Thank you
we
again.
jump into today's discussion, let me just tell you about our partner, EE News Europe. If you're looking for the latest electronics and engineering news, check out eenewseurope.com. It's a fully digital publication covering key areas like analog, automotive, embedded power, and wireless technologies. So stay ahead of industry trends by reading EE News Europe and subscribing to their newsletters. That's eenewseurope.com. And of course, as always, we've got something cool to give away. We're giving away 3 bundles of KiCad Like a Pro. It's the ultimate learning resource for mastering KiCad. This includes 2 books, Fundamentals and Projects, Advanced Projects and Recipes, and it covers everything from basic PCB design to real-world applications. If you want to level up your KiCad skills, don't miss this chance. And as always, we are live, and I'm watching the chat coming in from all over the world, including South Africa, where I'm from, Lisbon, Portugal, Maryland, USA, Portugal, Ireland, New Mexico. So that's great. Loving the turnout. Drop your questions and comments in the chat. We'll keep an eye on them and ask Peter about all his insights about all of those. All right, Peter, let's get into it. Actually, I'm going to bring up your post from LinkedIn from yesterday. What do you know? KiCad 9 has just been released, bringing in a host of new features and improvements. Can you tell us a bit about what's different since KiCad 8?
Yeah, thank you for pointing out the newly released KiCad course. KiCad for Beginners is the name of the course. The course was created on KiCad 9 and in an area of beginners, or when targeting on beginners, there wasn't changed much from version 8 to version 9. I think the KiCad version 8 was already almost professional, or I believe professional tool. So there are some specialties like ODB++ support, job set support, repeating patterns in PCB and schematic. But as I said, for beginners, nothing changed. The approach for symbol creation, schematic capture, footprint creation, and collecting everything together, this wasn't changed. So people can use the KiCad for Beginners course calmly for version 9.
Exactly. I'm a beginner as well. I'm probably not ever going to use the more advanced features. And you were saying earlier that you expect a version 10 next year.
Yeah, I'm expecting version 10 next year. As I heard, the maintainers of the KiCad project try to release a major version every single year. So version 8 was released in January 2024. Now last week was released version 8. So I'm expecting version 10 in the beginning of next year. But I believe version 10 will contain something special, because 10 is a nice number. So maybe there will be some delay, but I don't know. We'll see.
With all of these updates and changes, how often do you need to change your content on your course?
I think that ideally the course should be updated for version 9 because despite the fact I said that the basics stayed the same or stays the same, I think that the version 9 brings new features that can be covered in the course. So I expect that about in the half of this year, the course will be updated for version 9.
And it is open source, and you were saying to me earlier, because I'm saying we're giving away these books, which are almost competition to you because these are also teachables, and you said, no, there's no competition in open source. There's only collaboration and contribution. So
Yeah.
I love that attitude. Being open source, it has evolved over the years. And how would you say it has moved things away from traditional PCB design tools? I mean, I was using Tango in DOS in the 90s. Things have changed a lot since then, but open source, how is it different?
Yeah, a lot of changed in the last 7-8 years. I started with KiCad version 4 in 2017, and now we are in version 9. And I think since version 6, the KiCad is competitive to any similar tool. I don't want to be on a battlefield like Altium Designer against KiCad and who is better and what tool is better. And it's like Android versus iOS and Windows versus Linux. I think it's not smart to fight against each other. We are all engineers, and we must be happy that there is something like KiCad in our field, that we have the freedom of choice. If we can pay thousands of dollars per year or use a similar tool for free, that's pure happiness, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. Back in the 80s, I was on the Texas Instruments computer there, and you had people on Commodore, Atari, and we all used to fight about which is the best one. But underneath, they're all ones and zeros. They all have microprocessors and memory maps. So pretty much the same thing. We're just fighting for nothing. I do love the open source ethos, though. Everyone thought back when open source was a new thing, how are they going to make money from that? Well, I think we're all benefiting from it. Speaking of which, are there any misconceptions that people think about KiCad? I'll tell you why I asked, because I worked for another company, and I used to suggest open source Linux, Raspberry Pi, and they were like, but it's free. So we don't want free. You can't get support like you can with Windows. And I'm like, when last did you phone Microsoft for support? So tell me about misconceptions about KiCad, if you've heard any.
The first thing that came to my mind is that people think that KiCad is not useful for professional work. People don't believe that KiCad is able to design differential pairs or high-speed designs or multi-layer PCBs. I think these days we always look for the best tool possible for our job, but I don't think it's smart. I think we should know our tools and then use them cleverly and smartly, and then the tools can be used for anything. Even engineers with the pen and paper can design the multi-layer PCB and high-speed designs. It's not about the tool, it's about the experience, the brains of engineers, the teams, the cooperation, not the looking for a best tool. So this is misconception number one. Sometimes I tried to encourage people to support KiCad because frankly, for me, KiCad is not for free. I annually support KiCad engineers with $10 monthly. It's not a big amount of money, but it's regular contribution or not contribution, support. And I encourage all users that use KiCad professionally, please contribute, engineers and designers. KiCad will be much better in no time with your contribution, with your support. So this is number two. And number three, I don't know, KiCad is great, and I can see a few days ago when I published a video bringing three, I think, in my opinion, top 3 features of KiCad 9. It stirred some discussion in comments because people, users of Elektor Designer, I think are started feel a little bit in danger because KiCad grows up and gets better and better every single year.
Yeah, and once again, I can agree with Christopher, who says great attitude, one size doesn't fit all. Now, did you say you contribute $10 a year?
$10 monthly. $10 monthly.
Okay.
Monthly. So it's not a big deal. I can support them with 100, but I think 5 years ago I decided 10 is a good amount for starters, and I didn't change it. But yeah, I think if every user of KiCad support with $10 monthly, it would be completely different game.
Yeah, I love the idea of small payments and even micro payments. It's like, would you rather have 50 customers paying $1,200 for your package, or would you rather have 50,000 customers paying $1 voluntarily? You're not forcing them. So the contribution model is great. Besides Christopher, I'd like to hear from our chat audience who's using KiCad and what for and what version you're on. I suppose you all upgrade straight to 8 and now probably 9 immediately. I'm not sure what the benefits are for the brand new versions. Peter, have you added anything about KiCad 9 already into your workflow, or is it like you don't need these new features, they're just for the on demand from the developers?
Frankly, two new features are excellent. I immediately embedded them into my workflow. The first is job sets. The job sets is a tool or approach to tools that, for instance, we want to export manufacturing data. It means Gerbers, ODB++ in version 9, drill data, bill of material, PDF of schematics. And until version 9, we had to click on every single tool and export piece by piece. And now the job sets can be defined. You can define, for instance, 10 steps in the job set, and by single click, you call the job set and everything is exported automatically. And the best thing is that you can grab the file with the job set. It's a text file, and copy it to another project folder. And the same job set can be repeated for another project without any effort. The same exports, the same format, the same files. This is important because sometimes we can forget to export something, or we changed some option in the export tool, and with job sets this will not happen. And the second thing is the repeated PCB patterns. For instance, we are working on a multi-channel amplifier, and each amplifier basically has the same PCB layout. And with version 9, we have to draw or route only first or just one channel and repeat the pattern to all other channels. And all other channels will be the same tracks, the same vias, the same component positions. So this is great, and it's ultimate time saver because I think you can see the benefit of the repeating PCB layers, PCB patterns. So these two new features I immediately embedded in my workflow, and I already benefited from them because it saved me, or these two features saved me already tens of minutes maybe.
Yeah, tens of minutes or tens of hours for me. I mean, I remember the old days if I wanted to place a 64-pin CPU, and the template wasn't in the package, and of course internet wasn't so easy to access back then. I remember dragging and dropping 64 pins making sure they snap to the correct place. And it's amazing, as Chris has said here, KiCad has evolved a lot and streamlining your workflow as always, so making things quicker, which makes me think, how much has AI affected your workflow? Little AI tools and plugins and extras to help you go faster?
I think big time. I use it. I use the large language models. I use ChatGPT or GPT model almost since the release of version 3. So I can't count the years now, 3 years already, or I don't know. Yeah, since the version 3 was released. Not for design. I used for preparation of projects to verify the project plans, to discuss with me, to criticize my plans, yeah, to prepare proposals. Now I started using the Notebook LM by Google. It's a genius tool. You can upload all the sources like data sheets, application notes, even the links to web pages, and the Notebook LM works only with your sources, and you can start asking questions. And for instance, I benefited from the Notebook LM recently when I uploaded the more than 100 page long data sheet, which was hard to study and hard to navigate, kind of. So I uploaded the data sheet and started asking questions, and the machine was really helpful because in the answers to my question, it listed me all the occurrences of the issue of the parameter, and helped me to combine all the requirements from the data sheet, which were placed on different pages. So yeah, ChatGPT, Notebook LM. For my video creation, I use the Wondershare Filmora tool. There are AI features like speech to text and automatic subtitling and many things. So I think we can be much better engineers and creators with AI, and I'm not afraid that AI will take my job. I'm not afraid at all.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you that next, if you're afraid, because a lot of people are afraid, but I guess you're good at your job, so AI can help you. It's like being intimidated by hiring a new employee because they're too smart. But I think for me, I've been watching AI develop since the 80s. Once again, I'm old school, but only with version 3.5 was it like, wow, it's actually talking to me like a human. But then you've got Notebook LM, you've got Claude. I sometimes use Claude to double check accuracy of ChatGPT. ChatGPT will print out something and I'll say, copy, paste, Claude, is this accurate? And it will find mistakes. And then we've got other tools such, you're a video creator as well. So interesting tools come in the form of like voice cloning. If you need to do a voiceover and you don't want to sit down and record, although in my case, it gets the voice right, but it battles with the accent. Comment here from Orkan. I've been using KiCad for the past 10 years, both professionally and for the hobbies. Now I'm pushing my company to switch to it. Yeah. As I was mentioning earlier, but carry on.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that that's a great approach for companies to started testing how KiCad can replace the existing tools. I helped in last year the quite big company from the Czech Republic to switch from Eagle or Fusion. I don't know what was the last name of the tool, originally Eagle, and I helped them to switch to KiCad, and they already are 100% on KiCad, and according to recent messages from the early January this year, they are happy and going forward with the KiCad. And it's a company with tens of electrical engineers, so not one job company as I am. Oh, not one,
Yeah.
one man company.
So you're contributing in at least 3 ways: money, intellect, and also switching people over.
I try to do my best, yeah, because I publish a lot of KiCad content, the free masterclass, the tutorials, the ebooks. I have written I think 3 ebooks for KiCad, and a lot of things, and a myriad of tips published on LinkedIn. So people just find me and ask me for a help, and I'm happy helping them with KiCad, because KiCad deserves our energy, because the tool is, as I said, completely professional.
Yeah. And you make your content. I want to ask you a second now about, speaking of your influence in converting people. I've had many influencers on this show, and they're almost always big on YouTube and or Instagram. You're the first guy I've found that has 32,118 followers on LinkedIn. What made you settle on LinkedIn as your platform?
Yeah, thank you for calling me an influencer. I think I am not. Recently, I wasn't even the video creator or content creator. I'm freelancing hardware design engineer. I started my freelancing way in 2018, in January 2018, and I started using LinkedIn as a channel to promoting my work, to write about my work under hashtag show your work. And I started, as I said, in January 2018 with a post for every single day. And after about 5 years, I realized that the video content is of a big demand from the audience, so I started creating videos. So this is why I'm not on YouTube, because my channel is LinkedIn is the most professional network we have. There are a lot of professionals, a lot of companies, a lot of followers, a lot of creators as I am, and we can follow each other as on any other network. But I can say that on LinkedIn there is no hatred. There is very few arguments in the comments, and I can say that LinkedIn is the best network for me as a professional. I don't want to waste my time arguing with some people from the internet.
Yeah,
I want to discuss with professionals. I want to discuss with professionals, and LinkedIn is full of them.
Now, one of the ways that you don't want to be called an influencer, but when you have 32,000 followers, I think it's harder to get followers on LinkedIn than it would be to get, say, YouTube subscribers. So you went professional, you posted daily, and you nailed the algorithm.
Yeah. The thing is that I don't know the scale of when you are starting being an influencer. When I started cooperating with some major semiconductor company 2 years ago, they showed me a profile of Great Scott, which is a great guy from Germany, and
had him on the show.
Yeah, he had 1.8 million followers on YouTube 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, Great Scott had 1.8 million, and now I have 32,000. My number is so small, so tiny that I don't know. I do my
32. Great Scott, he is an exception. I mean, we've had people on the show with 30,000 followers, with 200,000. Once you start getting into the tens of thousands, I think you've got a message that people want to hear, and they're following you for it. And you have great content, by the way.
Thank you for your words. I try to deliver the best I can, and I realize that to work on a content, to prepare videos, to prepare scripts for videos, to edit the videos. It's something that it's not similar to designing hardware, but it's something that can help people, and I want to help people with the on their beginners or juniors, in their juniors or beginners phase of the career. 42 or 44, I'm not sure about the exact number. 44% of my followers on LinkedIn are juniors or beginners. So I realized that I should focus on them. The fact is that experts from some level not agree with content of other experts, they only argue with them. But beginners and juniors don't do that. So I focus on juniors and beginners. And the fact is that the juniors and beginners now in 5 years will be experts. And when the experts, former juniors and beginners, are built or already built the relationship with me, I will be with them on the same boat. They know me, I can deliver them interesting content, for instance, paid content. Yeah, let's be honest. I have to earn some money for my living, and LinkedIn and activities on LinkedIn is the activity I use to earn money. And when I help beginners and juniors today, in 5 years they will be experts with some relationship to me. What can be better than this?
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember having a chat about B2B versus B2C, business to business sales. And being Elektor, we sell to both business and hobbyist users. And I was like, well, I started off as a consumer at home as a teenager, but you grow and you become, the amateurs become the professionals, as you say, and you remember where you learned your skills. I'm going to cut away for a second now just to go back to our competition, because we're nearly at the bottom of the hour. Remember, I told you, the audience, that we are giving away KiCad Like a Pro. It's a 2 ebook bundle, so I don't think you'll get lost in the woods there. It's very comprehensive, and it's written by our friend Petr Dvořák. And if you want to win, now is the time for me to give you the code word. Let's be a bit original this week. The code word for the competition will be that KiCad guy. So hashtag that KiCad guy. Fill in the rest of your details. Tell us that you're not a robot. Let me put the URL and the code word on the screen so you know where to go. That's the one. And good luck to everyone entering. Sorry for that interruption, but I know it's about this time when people say, what's the code word? Now you know. So Peter, you're not just you're not just, oh, there we go. Like the shirt. I've got mine. It's a little bit out of picture.
Thank you.
You're that KiCad guy, but you're not just that guy. You have a very structured routine. I think you said that you wake up 5 a.m. every day and learn languages for an hour. How do you get that sort of discipline? I'd love to hear that story.
I don't know. Probably I was born like that. I think I'm quite an organized guy. I want to have a structure in my day and in my life, especially in my day, because otherwise I can't live in chaos. I need a structure, so I plan my work in blocks. I started learning standard Chinese last year, so I dedicate about 1 hour a day studying Chinese. Then I want to improve my English because it's not good yet. And then I invest some time or spend some time working on the projects for my customers, promoting myself on social media, aka equals LinkedIn, and to have some time for my activities. Like I love running. I started training for my first marathon at the beginning of years, and I am in the 8th or 9th week of preparation. The marathon race will be in June. So yeah, I need a structure in my life, and this scheduling of my work and activities helps me.
That's great. It's very admirable that you do it 7 days a week, not just 5 days a week. 7 days a week you wake up early and study languages. And I know this is not a technical topic, but since we have this in common, I also did a bit of Chinese, but more on Duolingo, not as disciplined and structured. And I didn't feel like I could get that pronunciation. I didn't think I could get it. It was weird to me. But I was very proud one day when I found a Chinese guy at the supermarket, and my daughter was with me, and I said, "Jishu niar," and they knew what I meant. So I was like, yes. But in terms of other languages, we also learn Python and C and languages and computer languages. Let's take a comment from David. As a hobbyist, I've used an almost free tool for years, Design Spark, and switched to KiCad last year. The problem is the inability to import projects from many other tools into KiCad, meaning I've got to go back to my old tool for revisions in my older projects, and I know it is challenging to convert projects from other tools. Do you have any tips to make that pain go away, Peter?
Yeah, that can be tricky. Some imports are, let's say, less trouble than the other. From Altium Designer or Eagle, KiCad can import, not perfectly, but can. From Design Spark and other tools, it can't. Out of the box, point number 1, hire a freelancing engineer who redraw your schematic and project. Point number 2, start from zero and redraw by yourself. Yeah, not a good answers, but yeah. It
sounds like that kind of question, David. I would also probably, if I were you, I would go to ChatGPT and ask for help there.
Maybe. Why not? The Design Spark, I don't know Design Spark. I use it once or twice for some customer hardware reviews, because besides the hardware design, I offer as well the hardware reviews. So yeah, I tried to use it, but as 100% knee deep in KiCad, I was completely lost in the UI and everything. But it's the same for all systems. Yeah, the philosophy behind the system is different. So yeah, that's tough question. As I said, hire a low expensive engineer and beginner or junior, and they will help you with the transition. That's probably the cheapest way.
Wow, that's an unusual response in that I'm always using to solve the problems myself, but you're more pragmatic. Pay someone who knows how to do it.
Yeah.
And there are a few ways to reach Peter. Here is his website. Let me just put the URL on screen. This is your website, idvorzak.info, and you advertise a lot of your freelance work here. And like you say, you've got bills to pay. Not everything is, you do have bills to pay. So how is this working out for you? Are you bringing in work this way? I see you've got your LinkedIn newsletter there as well, which is well worth subscribing to, by the way. How does it work for you, Peter?
I can say that the web page like this one on the screen doesn't work for promoting my job. Well, when you want to attract some new customers, you want to be where the people are. On my web page, there are like 10 new visitors monthly. On LinkedIn, today, by accident, I looked for the statistics of impression on LinkedIn, and during last 2 weeks, I reached more than 100,000 impressions. 2 weeks.
That's insane.
So yeah, that's the answer. I
The
am
website
active
is
where
so
people
good.
are.
There's so much information here, and you're saying you get like 10 new people a month.
Yeah, because who is on Google today? Yeah, people are on social media apps. People scrolling feed. People even use the social media apps for searching for answers. Young people don't Google today. People open TikTok and ask a question there. So
Yeah.
my website is accessible from web searches, and when people don't use web searches, people started using large language models like GPT.
Yeah.
I keep it running because I think it can be beneficial for some customers, but when you want to see my latest content, please go to LinkedIn because there is where I am.
Yeah. So idvorzak.info is easy to remember, but once you get there, here's my LinkedIn newsletter. Just click on subscribe. As you see, the link is a lot more complicated at the top, but I gave you the easy way to get there. I'm already subscribed, and there's some great content there.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to bring the new components I come across regularly. As an engineer, I try to keep my information sources fresh. So I check the new components, the new component, or do new product announcements. And this Road to Embedded Dexterity newsletter brings the most interesting components that come across in the recent month.
Yeah.
So probably not for everyone. I focused on let's say simple components. I'm not interested in evaluation boards or in big components. I just want to bring some. For instance, the fingerprint sensor. Who can do this with a simple serial interface and working sensor? Or the sensor below, BME 690. Today was released a video presenting this air quality monitor in a real device. I downloaded the Bosch SensorTech specialized library from their website. In the Arduino code, I was able to create the fully functional, internally calibrated air quality monitor in a few hours, and the values were exactly the same as the commercial air quality monitor I have on my desk. And in the video on the LinkedIn, there is everything visible. So this is something that makes me happy to bring something interesting, to make the way of the juniors and beginners easier. And this brings me to the second web page I'm running. This is Benny Devices, Benny-Devices, and bennydevices.eu. And this is the website. It started like the templates for enclosures, because I realized that when we design something for the enclosure, like PCB for enclosure, we usually make mistakes. Different diameters for mounting holes, different positions, different shapes. And during the time of publishing new hardware design templates, I started creating and publishing the schematic templates. So basically, twice a month I publish a new evaluation board, and in a form of video. And the board from the video I verified, and I make the heavy lifting for you. So symbol creation, footprint creation, testing, and this is the web page when you can buy the hardware design template for a price of a cup of coffee. So I think it's a good deal. You can save hours for a price of a small cup of coffee.
Yeah. Well, you are taking the word. I'm very lazy with enclosures. I don't have a 3D printer. I don't know how to use Fusion 360. So this is how you end up with this on your desktop instead of actually being in enclosures. How do you decide which products to accommodate with your enclosures?
I started searching for the, let's say, the most useful enclosures in my opinion. And when the enclosure got my attention, I support it on my Benny Devices e-commerce website. So yeah, I chose the enclosures, and yeah, you are going through the project I created for the hardware design template, the circular one. This was temperature sensor and BLE communication, and yeah, very simple design, but there is everything described, and you can buy it for, as I said,
for coffee.
So
well,
for a cup of
cheers
coffee.
to the cup of coffee here. I'm sorry I didn't buy you one just before the show, but we'll have to get to that. Let's have a look at the comments section. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so this is the second project, like the side projects I run. I don't run it to earn money. I just want to, yeah, get a few back, because I spent hours of making it, and yes, yeah. Currently there are like, I don't know, I think close to 50 already design templates. You are still on the page 1, but there are 3 pages more.
Let's move on. View all.
Yeah, when you view all. So yeah, there are capacitive sensors, the BLE no-code beacon. There are capacitive sliders and buttons. There are the evaluation board for capacitive touchpad. There are hardware design templates for PCI Express boards and various enclosures, and yeah.
I love that these are generic templates, including the PCB. I mean, yeah, you just got handheld instrument size AA. That can be so useful for a starter point for your project instead of having to start from scratch.
Exactly.
It's a genius idea. Hexagonal node type A.
Yeah, this is the enclosure by Camden Boss. And as you can see, I verified even the connectors, because you can say there should be some RJ45 connectors, but there are like hundreds connectors RJ45 on market. And I verified the exact types that fits into the enclosure openings, and the positions on the PCB are verified. So you can grab it, route some tracks, and place other components. And I don't think that, or I don't say that the prototype will be first time right, but at least the mechanical design will be flawless.
Yeah, I mean, I feel your pain with the different types of connectors. Once I designed a board based on components I had with me, so I happened to have a toggle switch. I designed the board around that switch. And when it was time to mass manufacture, because those days there was no JLPCB and stuff like this, you had to order 100. So I did that, and then I could not find a switch with that pin out. So I ended up having to solder little wires to make the switch fit. So you confirm the connectors and everything.
Yeah. Of course, we all make mistakes. I have done, or I have made maybe more mistakes than the other engineers, because I am not perfect. I made mistakes, but I'm honest with them, and I learn from them, and I don't want people repeat my mistakes. So here is.
Yeah, and if you're making mistakes, that means you're learning and you're contributing. People who do nothing make no mistakes except to do nothing.
Yeah. And since I'm a content creator, every time I made a mistake, I don't tear my hair. I said to myself, that's great, because it will be good for the content. People like to hear about mistakes of other people. So every time I made a mistake, I am happy, because there will be some material for my posts, some material for my videos, and some material for my followers. I think that approach is a must.
Exactly. Some of my readers and viewers have said to me that they enjoy seeing the mistakes, because for me, I'm going to set it up and it's going to work. And then I want to tear my hair out because I'm following the instructions and it's not working. And then I want to say, well, let's edit that part out and just get to where it works. And then you say, no, your viewers are also going to have problems. So that rather than just show them what didn't work.
Yeah.
That's great. And then you also work with Fedevil. That is an online learning platform.
Thank you for mentioning it. That's the platform when the KiCad for Beginners course was published. It's a platform owned by Robert Feranec or Feranek. I think Robert is well known on the internet, on all platforms, on YouTube and as well on LinkedIn. So we decided that I can create some beginners course for KiCad, because on the platform there are some advanced courses, but the beginners were not covered since were not covered. So since the December there are the course a little bit more pricey than the cup of coffee, but I compressed everything in 2.5 hour format, and you can go through the zero from you can create, or you will see how to create symbols, how to create footprints, how to create or manage symbol and footprint libraries, how to capture schematic, how to lay out components on the board, how to route tracks, how to export manufacturing data, how to export bill of materials. And even in the 7th stage of the course, you will see that the board you just designed is working, because there is like footage of me when I was testing the board. So
that's great. And I think the online version, you get a PDF certificate and it's $49. So that's less than 10 cups of coffee. Unless you want official printed certificate, but I would be inclined to go for this one. Just want to learn more about KiCad. I don't need a printed certificate. Tell me which one sells the best.
Yeah, the online, and then the middle one, because for the middle one, the online and download, you can download the content of the course, because the first one, it allows you only to watch online. So when you pay twice as much, you can download the content, and the content is yours for forever. Exactly, forever.
Yeah, I need to get in on that. But I'm the guy who might have KiCad 8, but I'm using features from KiCad 4. I don't even know what's changed, except what's gotten in my way, unexpected changes. Yeah. But for you as a pro, what sort of features are you waiting for? And maybe you're looking ahead to version 10 next year to say, I wish they could put this in.
That's a good question. Thank you. I don't know. When the version 8 was released, I was so happy that this is the tool we all need. There is everything. And now when the version 9 was released, I was surprised how many new features are there and how these features are beneficial to my work. It means that the version 8 was already matching all my needs. I work on projects that are not limited by features of KiCad. The projects I'm working on are limited by my experience and my skills. KiCad is not the limiting factor. So, of course, you can imagine big projects for big teams that can be limited by KiCad because they need some collaboration tools and some special tools for instance, simulators for signal integrity, power integrity, some very, very helpful but expensive tools. And you have to understand that I'm freelancing design engineer. Companies don't hire freelancers. Yeah, some small companies, yes, but I'm hired usually by small companies usually small companies without the hardware development team, or companies with hardware development team, but without needed capacity. So they hire me for a project or two, and we split our paths. So for me, as a freelancing hardware design engineer, I use KiCad, and it fulfills all my needs. So the answer to the question, I don't know what I need. I have everything already. Everything that will come in version 10 will be an excellent, amazing surprise.
So then there's nothing you planning on, like you really have to have it. I know we had some complaints earlier about switching from an older tool like Design Spark to a new tool. Maybe ease of use, ease of conversion. But for that, I think you should have some external tools available, at least. Under says...
I'm thinking silently about the better answer, but probably, I don't know. There should be something. Even the repeated PCB patterns, as I described earlier. An excellent tool, time-saving tool, amazing tool. But even before, I frankly didn't need it because I'm not afraid of work. I can sit down, I can roll up my sleeves and to work my off. So yeah, this is time-saving tool, but I can do it anyway manually. It will take me 2 hours, but I will do it. So I think now we are speaking about optimization of the tools, time saving, not cutting corners, but making the process shorter and simpler. So yeah, I'm looking for version 10. That can be version full of surprises, but I already have everything I need.
Great. Jan Willem says, every time a pro posts about a mistake, it lowers the bar for learners. And that's, like I said, you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
Definitely. And we sometimes forget to share what we think that's simple or basic. I read a post 1 month ago, and it said, the post you just deleted was a fortune for someone who just started. And that's true. Yeah. We as experts are sometimes blind to the value of the knowledge that we find the basics. But the beginners and juniors don't know what we sometimes already forget. So let's share everything, let's share basic things, and let's collaborate, let's cooperate, and let's communicate.
Yeah. Speaking of learning from mistakes, I recently held a free soldering class just before Christmas. Anybody could just come and join and learn how to solder. We had all the soldering irons, the solder wick, and all of that, just, basic through-hole soldering. And I tried to explain to one of the guys what the solder wick does. And he's like, I don't need to know about that. Wasn't interested, didn't understand the benefit of it. And the reason was he made no mistakes. Only when somebody made a mistake and I showed you, put the wick down and you hold it and it sucks the solder, he was like, whoa, why didn't you tell me? Well, you made no mistakes, so you didn't learn anything from that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. We did discuss this because I had to learn how to pronounce Petr Dvořák's name I know there's a John C. Dvorak in America, but he's American. Question from David wants to know if you're related to the famous composer Antonin Dvořák.
Thank you for the question. I'm not. The fun fact is that the name Dvořák or Dvorak is about the fourth most useful, not useful, the most used, most frequent surname in Czech Republic. So it's like Newman or I don't know, Smith or yeah,
or even
something
Williams.
like this. Or yes. So I'm not related to Antonin Dvořák. There are many Dvořáks in Czech Republic. I'm just one of them.
Great. I'm not related to John Williams, the famous movie composer, either. Just happen to share a surname.
Yeah.
And now that KiCad 9's out and your course is updated, and it's still sort of the beginning of the year, and you're very tenacious. If I bring up your LinkedIn, you don't miss a month. You are an inspiration to all. Every month there's a new newsletter, reliably. So what are you looking forward to pulling off this year, 2025?
Oh, well, I want to focus on the work I enjoy the most, which is the content creation. So now I am like 80% of hardware designer and 20% of content creator. So ideally I would change this ratio to 60 to 40 or at least 70 to 30 because I really enjoyed delivering the content. Recently I cooperated with the company from Germany. I promoted their AI tool for hardware design. This is the platform. You can easily find this video on my LinkedIn feed, in the LinkedIn profile. It was published the last Wednesday. And I really enjoyed every single second working on it. So this is something I would like to focus more on content creation and to start sharing my experience and knowledge, because I think after 20 years in the business, I learned a thing or two, and I can share, and I want to share anything I know, because frankly, we are here on Earth for a few decades, and the information we have in our head is not our. We just come across it, we heat it for a while in our head, and after a while we will go it away.
Yeah, and
I don't want to be more morbid, but I can see it like this.
Yeah, not even morbid as much. You're losing treasured, very valuable information. Like when somebody gets old, like a great grandparent or something, once they're gone, you can ask no more questions. So it's great that you want to focus on content creation, because the more content you get, the more is out there in the world and the more we can take advantage of.
Exactly. That's the win-win.
Yeah. It reminds me of what Larry King said before he died. They said, "What are you afraid of?" He said, "Dying." Why? Because this world has been around a long time and we're here for a blip. And I want to see it all. I want to learn it all. But you reminded me of those words. Well,
yeah,
Peter,
that's clever words.
We've come to the end of the hour right now. It is the top of the hour. And I want to thank you. You've been a great inspiration. I'm definitely going to follow you more. And it's not just about KiCad for me. I don't design that many circuit boards, but your drive and your enthusiasm and your get up and go daily, every day at 5 a.m. is certainly something I could learn from. So thanks very much for being on the show, Peter.
Thank you for having me. It was an excellent hour. I enjoyed every minute, as I enjoy the content creation as I described. Thank you for having me. And it was great.
Excellent. Yeah, I might ask you questions another day when we have more time, not just editing PC boards and having these manual annoying processes, but editing videos can be quite painful if you don't know all the shortcuts and the tools. So education is always great. Thanks again to Peter, and thanks for everyone who joined us from around the world. I'm still seeing comments from Germany, Ireland. Love the global audience. Hope you entered the competition, and if you did, good luck winning KiCad Like a Pro. And if you don't win, remember you can always visit Peter's courses. $49, I think that's quite a good deal. I'd like a structured course on that rather than just watching random YouTube videos. Thanks once again, Peter. Thank you to everyone, and
Thank
good
you.
night.